Okay, hi friends. I'm very excited to present my next guest under my Run Chronicle series. So I've been running on the streets of Pune since last couple of years, and one thing which always brings to my notice or which makes me remember fellow runner without knowing his or her name is their smile. Like how truly they are enjoying their run, radiating happiness. And one such runner which I have been following since last few years will be Mr. Mukul Kumar. As you know, he is the co-founder and former CTO of PubMatic and a global ad tech company and a real passionate long distance runner. So if I've been following his post, all his runs. He takes selfies while running. Even his strength training sessions at gym, they are so full of positive energy and happiness that you feel like wow, this gentleman who is heading such a important position in such a large corporate, as well as he takes time for his fitness and he's doing everything so coolly and happily. So I think I must hear him out how he does all this and perfectly balances his life. So Mukul sir, thank you so much for joining and giving me your time. So over to you.
Really happy to talk to you. So we can definitely jump in. I mean, I'm excited. I agree that I take those pictures while my run, and I try to be happy. I mean, I think that's the main goal
Yes.
of all these workouts. We are not trying to win a race here, but we are trying to be happy. We are trying to be healthy,
Right.
and we are trying to make a better environment. I mean, I'm like, I always look for nicer places to run with trees and less traffic. So we all look forward to that.
Yeah.
So that's why I take those pictures. Yeah.
Recipe for a perfect morning, and definitely I'm sure you would have inspired a lot of people with such happy post of yours
Exactly.
about run.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks. Actually, yes, because we built a community here at PubMatic, and so I started with just myself. I was like the only runner, at least only known runner. There was, I guess, 3-4 years ago, and then now.
Yeah, let me just cut you short. We will come
Sure.
to that because I
Yeah.
have a question about this.
Yeah.
But let's go back and begin from the beginning. Like, how
Sure.
did it all begin? Were you a
Yeah.
runner,
Yeah.
like from ages, or
Yeah.
in school did you run?
Yeah.
Why running? Like, how
Yeah.
did you ended up as a
So
runner?
I would say it's I was not a sports person at all during my school days. I was not a runner at all during my school days, and it all started with a friend whose name is Shivajit Roy, one of my close friends. We know each other for about 29 years now. So he and I know each other, and he started running maybe around 10 years ago or something, or 8 years ago.
Okay.
And then he said, it's interesting. You want to try it out? I said, okay. Let me give it a shot. And then I got into the running zone. I really enjoyed it, and I continue doing it. And then now, if I don't run, then I feel really bad. I miss a run.
Yes.
I don't. Like the day doesn't go well if I'm not running or doing a strength workout.
I think that's with all of us. Like it's so
Exactly.
difficult for us not to go out and run.
Exactly.
Sometimes doctor has to specifically tell us, if you're injured, then don't run. Still, maybe we will go out and have a small
Exactly.
walk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Right. So, so you have been running since how many years now?
So I think it's about maybe 7 years, maybe 6.5, 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before, I think 2 years before the pandemic. I mean, I think that's where we kind of So about 6.5 to 7 years. Yeah.
Were you any kind of sports before running?
Not at all, actually. I mean, I used to do strength workouts, so that has been there for a long time, maybe 15, 16 years, but never ran. So, in fact, when I started running with like 500 meters. I used to feel, tired, and then I increased it to 1 kilometer. I still have those posts from. Strava or the Connect port, the Garmin portal, where I first ran my 4 kilometers and then 5 kilometers, and I felt like, okay, this is like the greatest thing that has ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I think I just kept increasing, and I will come to that, but I do look forward to running a full marathon.
Of course, I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
So running long distance requires a lot of mental resilience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to focus mentally. Strength is equally important, but
Yeah.
mental strength is equally
Yeah.
there. So how do you train your mind to push through, difficult, some tough moments while running?
Yeah. Interesting questions. I mean, I think it is not, I would say, a single thing, but many people, most posts about a run, they will talk about it's more about the mind, less about the physical, state of the mind, state of the body. So, I'm obviously thinking about my run in the sense that how much have I run? Like when I'm feeling tired, I'm saying, oh, I mean, it's just, few more kilometers. So I'm trying to tell my mind that this is okay. You are not tired. I read this book, recently, maybe about 6 months ago, Can't Hurt Me. And, he talks about that when you're fully feeling tired, like you're totally drained out, you're actually only 40% drained out.
Oh,
You
interesting.
still have 60% energy. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of books that talk about how you have to acclimatize your brain, your mind, and you see that happening, with fellow runners, especially who are older than me. So when I ran Satara, there were a few runners who were more than 70 years of age.
Wow. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's so inspiring. I run with Mr. Joshi, who is from Pune.
Yes.
So, you feel so inspired and you think about, okay, he's 70 years old and he's running. I'm like much younger than him. So I should be. So yeah, I think it's just, training the mind that I'm not tired. I've done like half of it. There's only half of it that is remaining. And you're right that it's always something new every time. So
Yeah.
when I ran, Satara, it was 480 meters of climb. So there was a new level of
Endurance.
endurance
Yeah.
and pain that you have to just tell your mind that no, it's okay. You keep running and it'll be basically the whole feeling at the end of it. Explains everything,
Yeah.
right? You get such a huge high, the runner's high, that kind of offsets and that kind of
Yes.
helps you learn that.
And that kind of makes you run again.
Exactly.
You forget all the pain.
Exactly.
You remember that finishing moments.
Exactly.
For Satara, for me, it was like I just have to run half. The remaining
Yeah.
half is
Yeah,
downhill,
exactly.
right? So focus on the
Exactly.
just first half.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Exactly.
So currently, are you following any structured plan? What's your next event?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I don't have a planned event right now. I mean, the last one was the PCMH. I think that was the
In
last one.
December?
Yeah, in December, and I think January was fairly. I mean, there's a lot of travel in January, so I couldn't do much. But yeah, I mean, I think right now it is. You can say there's a plan, but it's more around more structure around keeping myself fit. I do put my annual goals. So I set up something, and then based on that, I actually put a bunch of goals on Strava. So I have weekly, monthly, and annual goals.
Okay.
So Strava lets you manage that.
Yeah.
But those are not very aggressive. I do have my strength training goals.
Yes.
So yeah, I do follow a little bit of planning, but it's not very hard rules. But I do try to work out 6 days a week.
Oh, can you
yeah.
explain how your typical week looks like?
Yeah, so I try to run 3 times a week.
Okay.
So that'll be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. So usually Tuesdays and Thursdays are zone 2 runnings.
Easy running.
Yeah, easy. Based on the heart rate.
Yeah.
And then usually they are between 60 to 90 minutes.
Okay.
Usually 60. So it depends on when my meeting is, right?
Yeah.
So I need to complete the run and then get back to the office. Sundays are long runs,
Right.
as usual.
Yeah.
So those are the race pace or a little bit less than race pace. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is strength training. I have a gym which is near my house, so I just drive there. Usually it's not very aggressive, but then I do between 60 to 70 minutes of weight training. Multiple. I mean,
these are your
groups.
plans? Like, have you created on your own, or
yes and no. I mean, I think I have a trainer who
Okay.
helps me create my strength training plans. But I have, I haven't right now. I don't have like a professional creating a plan for me.
Okay.
But I do, think it will be someday very soon. I mean, I know great friends like yourself, who are great runners. I have, Shubhajit, who is running really good. Yogesh, another friend who
Yes.
runs really well. So I mean, I think I would say I'm in good company of good friends who can help me if there's a need.
Right.
Yeah.
That's commendable. That's really a self motivation to follow a plan which which nobody else has given you. Like sometimes
Yeah.
for me, someone has to give me plan. Then maybe I will
Yeah.
move. Like
Yeah.
if I'm left alone,
Yeah.
maybe I will do a very short run, or there won't be any typical plan as such. So
Yeah.
that's really commendable. You're doing all this on your own.
Yeah, I do that, and I in fact set up my own strength training goals of I have goals about my push-ups, about my lateral pull downs and my chest press.
Yeah.
So I set my kilogram goals for
Goals.
those.
Okay.
Um,
Incremental increase,
yeah,
like every month.
Yeah. I hope I achieve those, but
Okay. I'm sure you will.
definitely it's something to look forward to, and I like having a goal to look forward to. That okay, I'm going there. I increase it by 5 kgs or something, or I increase my run by X kilometers or pace, or I mean, there's so many
True.
metrics,
Parameters. Yeah.
parameters. So it feels good. Yeah.
True. So you kind of have answered my next question also, the parallel between business and running. We have been
Yeah.
talking about goal setting.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you think your passion, like running long distance and running a business, running a company like PubMatic, complements each other?
Yeah, I think in many ways. I mean, number one, obviously, is that fitness is extremely important. Being fit and being presentable, being happy are really important to do anything successful.
True.
So I feel like running and workouts help me be more fit and be more agile, be more attentive, have higher focus. All those are super important for solving any problem, any business problem. So I think all of those help. Plus, if you draw parallels, it's about perseverance. So constantly trying to improve yourself to go towards a goal, something that you yourself might think was impossible, let's say 6 months or a year ago. Others might say, no, you cannot do it. So I say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove you wrong. So that's number one, I would say, in terms of parallel to business. And then incremental improvements is also super important. You don't fix something or get something done in one shot, but you are incrementally improving.
True.
That's a super important thing for running, especially where you are increasing your distance or pace or cadence in small increments, 10% or something like that. And then, of course, most important, never giving up. So I never give up.
Wonderful.
So I have had multiple setbacks, injuries, and so on and so forth. But and then many of my friends have told that, Mukul, this is not the time or the age to run, to start something new. So I never give up. I just say no.
You are debunking all the myths.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, so I had the Satara, and then I had a fall during running in last April.
Okay.
And I think there was something on the road, like a rock or something, and then I kind of tripped over. And
Okay.
I think most people were telling me that, okay, Satara is off, don't even think about it. And then, but my wife has been very supportive. I'm lucky that she said that, no, I mean, you're going to, be fine, and you're going to be running again. And then, so I was actually running in just about 7 days. So it was a pretty bad fall, where everybody said that, yeah, I mean, like,
You
don't even think
don't
about
even
running.
run. Okay.
But then I was running in 7 days with bandages on both my knees. So
Okay.
yeah, so never giving up.
That's
That's super
really
important.
important. And
Yeah.
running or for anything, you don't really see improvement
Yeah.
vis-a-vis, like, immediately. But once you look back,
Yeah.
then over a period of a year or
Exactly.
something, then you will see the
Yeah.
difference, the improvement, and
Yeah.
so on. But as you said, the key is not giving up,
Yeah.
having that patience,
Yeah.
and just keep going.
Yeah.
And do you think this is a stress buster for you as well?
Absolutely it
yeah.
is. I think during that 1 hour that I run in the morning, or even any other kind of workout, is definitely it takes your mind off your day to day, and you are like you're like onto yourself. So it's kind of in a way, it's kind of a meditation too. That if you reach the what is called the zone, it is definitely, you actually forget about everything, right? So yes, it is absolutely a stress buster, and I feel like it prepares me for the day. So the strength training or the running, it just prepares me for the day. So I'm like much
Charged
more
up.
agile, much more charged up.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm much more energetic. So it's quite a I would say difficult thing to imagine for somebody who is not running, that you'll be much more energetic. So I ran like a 90-ish minute this morning.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
and then and I had like a 9 a.m. So I had to quickly, I completed my run at 8:30 a.m. and then I had to kind of rush, come to the office. But I'm much more energetic. If I had not run, I would actually have been more lethargic.
Yeah, I completely concur that. I have been through the similar
Yeah.
experience, and running is
Yeah.
like, let me run. I will figure out rest of the day.
Exactly.
I will start early, but let me go and have my run.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the topic which you were saying in the beginning about
Yeah.
creating this culture in this
Yeah.
organization, right?
Yeah.
So you have built a fantastic culture of health, and I recently
Yeah.
know you have run an event also.
Yeah.
Walkathon and runathon
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cyclothon,
Yeah.
cyclothon
Yeah.
just last month, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can you tell me about how is it about
Yeah.
within PubMatic?
Yeah. So I think I'm really proud of that. I mean, I started it as like, okay, I'm a runner. I found one more guy who was like running. I said, okay, let me form a Slack group, and I started the Slack group with 2 people, and then now it is 289 people.
Wonderful.
So, and just yesterday, so there are a lot of people who get inspired, by not just me, but there's like at least, I would say, a dozen, maybe more than that, maybe a couple of dozen regular runners who are posting on it. So it's like Strava, but like for a local, PubMatic group. So they're posting every day, and they're kind of encouraging everybody
Encouraging
else,
each
and they're
other.
like other kind of dormant people who are like thinking, who are on the borderline, oh, can I do it or not do it? So one person who is like that, who started running recently, he just completed a 15K yesterday, and he's like so happy. He was writing to me, and he was like, thank you so much for encouraging me. So I didn't give him a running plan or anything, but then I told him about the posture and the pre-workout warm-ups, the post-workout stretches, why those are important, a little bit on the shoes, hydration, things like that, gels.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually giving them any running plans, but then just helping them with also their strength trainings, and then how incrementally they build the endurance, pace, or cadence, those kind of things. So I think that I'm super proud about that, because
You should
there's
be.
almost 2 dozen people, maybe even more, maybe about 30 people who are doing either running or strength workouts, and they say that we are encouraged by all the workouts that we do. And then so and then we basically we try to talk about it in other forums, and we, with the help of Rotary Club of Pune, we organized a moveathon last month.
Yes,
and
yes.
that worked really well. We had a record turnout. In fact, about 120 people from Pune registered for that.
Oh, wonderful.
I think about 80 or 90, attended, and a lot of them ran the 10K. A lot of them did the cycling. So it was running, cycling and walking.
Yeah.
And then many people came with their friends, their families, like spouses and kids also. So they walked. It was really beautiful. It was, so it's really amazing to see people so early in the morning. So we started at 5:30. We reached there at about 5 a.m. So it's so good to see people who are basically who have that energy and that enthusiasm, and to get up in the morning at whatever 4 a.m. and then reach there and breathe the fresh air.
Yes.
So there was not much fanfare, but then we really enjoyed it.
Right, that's my favorite part actually. For any event I register,
Yes.
the group of people who have come early in the morning, the people on the stage who are setting up the vibe. So that's my favorite part of any event, and I have been telling to all my friends, come just for that. Run will happen because the energy is so much high, and everything is so positive. Run will happen on its own. Like obviously go for 3-5 to begin with, but that energy, that crowd energy which you have at that stadium or the starting point is unparalleled. Like
Exactly.
I have tears in my eyes because like, it's so overwhelming. That's just so beautiful. So,
exactly. And then second is, it's so inspiring.
It's so inspiring.
You feel look at people who are running fast, who are like, you feel so inspired.
True.
And then you look at the slightly older generation, and so it's so inspiring. You see kids, and then you see people who are helping. Like Satara was there, like there were so many women who were providing water on the street. So somebody told me that everybody comes out of their house to provide water and other.
The whole city is out there.
The whole
for
city
you.
is out, and then we went to a mithai shop, a sweet shop, and then like very far from the running location, and she was asking, "Oh, did you run?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." So like everybody in the city knows that. So that's so interesting and so unique, such a unique experience. So it gives you that high, and that high, I'm sure it lasts for a long time, at least a week, maybe even longer. So absolutely, I love the the energy that comes in that session.
Really agree to that.
Right.
Okay. That's really good. I hope if this video, this blog is seen by other CTOs and founders, they really should have that culture in their organization, because you are creating a happy space for an employee, and that would obviously increase the productivity.
Exactly.
So it's all a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. So I think two things there, quick. One is fitness. So I obviously, I'm a big, a supporter of fitness. Encouraging people to be fit, and basically telling them to eat healthy, work out every day, and there's like enough scientific study that shows longevity because of fitness, and delayed onset of diseases,
aging issues.
So that's super important. Other is, I've seen that every runner that I talk to is also very environmentally aware and friendly. So they want better environment, they want more trees, they want more, they want less traffic. In general, that's another thing that people become aware when they start, running. So that's another thing that, I feel, increases the awareness, and therefore there are more people who are environmentally aware and want more trees and so
better roads,
exactly,
safer roads,
better roads, safer roads, exactly. So so I think those two are super important in addition to all the other benefits that we talked about.
Right. And since your work involves travel so much, how do you manage your runnings while travel?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's super easy, but I definitely carry my running shoes at all places. I think it's easy to find running time if unless you are sleeping late. So I do carry my running shoes all the place. I mean, especially when I'm traveling to the US, it's really great to run in the US.
Right.
So because the streets are, I mean, there's more space. The streets are emptier. And also the AQI is less, and
Yes.
it's less polluted.
It keeps your heart rate much
Exactly,
lower,
exactly.
than what
Yeah.
you're running.
And then there are more fellow runners also. You see
Yes.
a lot of people. I definitely carry my running shoes almost all the time. So I was, we had an offsite in Mexico, and I was running for 3 days in Mexico. So initially I thought that is it going to be safe, leaving in the early part of the day when it is dark.
Dark.
But then I just convinced myself that okay, that's okay. And then every place that I go, I do run. And then I ran just in January. I ran in 0 degrees
Wow.
in Arizona.
Oh.
We were in Phoenix, Arizona for an offsite, and it was 0 degrees. And I was like, okay, is it possible? I put 3 layers of clothing and then put my gloves on and everything. Went out. So it's definitely fun,
Yes.
exploring places and then taking some pictures.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
always a highlight for runners.
Exactly.
Taking some good pictures,
Yeah.
especially the sunrise. Like I love
Exactly.
the moment.
Sunrise is
when-
the most beautiful.
most beautiful part.
thing.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back to next segment, which is food and nutrition.
Yeah.
So, how do you plan your food and nutrition while running? Like, what do you prefer
Yeah.
during your run, before your run, and after your
Yeah.
run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not very, very specific. Maybe, I mean, I think I started a long time ago, but I just eat 2 dates and a little bit of dry fruits. Basically, badam. I would say maybe 6 badam, and then obviously, I try to keep myself very hydrated. So,
Yeah.
definitely hydrate myself enough. And then during my run, depending on how long the run is, if it is more than an hour, and especially if it is not zone 2. So zone 2, 1 hour is almost no support. So no water and
Okay.
no gel, of course.
Okay.
But more than an hour, then or if it is a tempo run, then I carry my electrolytes. So I keep a belt and then
Yeah.
and put the regular electrolyte for during my run. Hydrate. Try to hydrate every 2.5 to 3 kilometers, and then gel is obviously for more than 10k or 15k. I carry 1 or 2 gels. I think it's definitely helpful at least from a psychological
Yeah.
point of view, the placebo effect. But yeah, I think I feel like I definitely recover faster. Water is obviously most
Yes.
important. Most, obviously runs that are organized, they have enough water, so
Water,
that's
yeah.
helpful. But nothing like I would say out of the way.
Hmm.
Just the regular electrolytes and gels,
And dates.
and then just dates in the morning. Yeah.
Wonderful. What's your guilty pleasure as a runner? What's your favorite meal which you
Yeah.
look forward to after the run?
Yeah, I mean, it's not right after that. I mean, I have very, I would say very standard and in a way boring, the same thing. So I just eat eggs for my breakfast, making sure I get that, at least some proteins going. Guilty pleasure, I eat enough, I would say, guilty stuff. So I'm a non-vegetarian.
Okay.
I like eating chicken and fish. I love eating chicken, and so I would say that's my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Loving the
No sweet tooth?
I do like it, but I try to avoid it.
Okay.
I did buy some chocolate recently, but I try to avoid it as much as possible. I like it, yeah, but I try to. I mean, the I try to keep it to my dates. So the dates in the morning, or maybe in the afternoon. I mean, I think that's good enough. Good enough sugar for me.
True. Yeah.
So I mean, I think I try not to take enough. I mean, too much sweet. I have. I mean, my mother and my mother-in-law, they definitely feed me the sweets. So and then sometimes in the office where you have to eat
some celebrations.
Sweet, but then I try to not do it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
So in my family, so it's my husband, my daughter, and I. So we love sweets, but we all are also kind of conscious.
Yeah.
So we will scold each other if someone has got it at home.
Yeah.
But after eating.
Yeah, after eating.
After eating, we'll say, why did you get this home?
Yeah.
So we try not to, stock it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to push myself too much. Like in the sense, if I do feel like eating, then I just eat it. So like for birthdays and all, you get cake. So obviously you eat it, and so I don't create a scene of not being this thing. I just go ahead and eat. Yeah.
You try to control best from your side as much as you can.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You run mostly solo, right? That's what I have observed. So do you listen to music or any podcasts? Or
no, actually not. So I don't think even I've tried. Maybe once I have tried. So on a treadmill run or something. So I don't. I mean, I like to kind of watch the nature and hear the nature as much as possible, like the rustling of the leaves and
wonderful.
Especially before the buses start honking. So sometimes I mean, if you are at the 7 a.m. Then the school buses obviously start rushing.
Right.
So try to I mean, I think I really like to just hear myself and hear the trees.
Be aware in the present moment.
Yeah, I think that's in my opinion, that's kind of the mindful running.
Yes.
So I want to be mindfully running, mindfully walking. So I don't listen to music or
any podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you ever had any profound thought, some groundbreaking ideas while running?
Yeah, I mean, I think many times, I think I would say a lot of ideas. So I think the best ideas come during either a shower or a workout. I think that's what happens.
Yes.
Not when I'm in front of my laptop.
Yeah.
I do solve a lot of, not a lot, but at least some of my problems during my runs and during my workouts or during a walk. I also walk quite a lot. So I mean, probably as much as I run. During so I mean, I think I do feel sometimes that the profound idea, like you said, I mean, I think sometimes I think that I like walking and running so much. Even when I went to Munnar there was like a forest, and I started running in the forest. So I thought that maybe this is what I'm built for. Maybe this is what I'm born. Like to just
be in the
appreciate
nature.
the nature. So appreciating nature is definitely a super important part of runs or walks, where you are listening to the birds and then looking at the creation of nature. So I think that was one of my thoughts, that maybe I should just keep doing this. And
you recently went for one bird watching expedition, right?
I did. Yeah. Although I could not run there, they said there's like enough wild animals there that don't go outside of like a crowd. Always be with a crowd.
With a group.
So with a group. So I said, okay, I'm not going to risk it for these 2 days.
Okay.
I'm going to just push my run for 2 days, and then
and just enjoy the nature.
Yeah. That was a beautiful experience too, where you're just sitting silently for hours, and then just listening to the birds, and then the rustling of the the leaves and the trees. So it's amazing. It's very different. Just doing that one thing and not thinking about anything else.
I can see the equal, passion in your face while talking about this, the nature
Yeah.
and all, the same
Yeah.
while you have during runs.
Yeah.
Nice. So do you also you're a trained photographer also?
No, actually not. I mean, this was I picked up my camera after a long time. Yeah, I'm not. I would say I haven't done
Just
enough,
hobby. Yeah.
but I do want to do that. It's an aspiration. So I
Okay.
do want to maybe learn more and then do more photography. Yeah, it has to somehow fit into the planning somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe after the full marathon.
Yeah. I mean, somebody told me that you can follow one hobby. Two is difficult. Yeah, because every trip, if somebody plans a trip, I said, okay, I'm going to miss these 3 runs. So I don't think I want to miss these 3 runs. So every Sunday I have to go for a long
Long
run.
run, yeah.
And I miss every party when like my friends call me for a Saturday evening. I said, no, I have to go for a long run.
Yeah.
So I have to sleep early.
That's so
and-
common with us.
Exactly. So I have to eat at 8 or 7
Yeah.
and then sleep. So yeah, I definitely it's not helpful for those social gatherings, but I love what I'm doing. So
True, yeah.
I just
The
keep
priorities
doing
are
it.
set.
I
Okay.
keep doing that. Yeah.
Okay, some fun questions. In the event, there are a lot of,
Yeah.
signage where people they hold it for the runners for motivating or just to make them laugh. So,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
particular sign which you remember was
Yeah.
hilarious?
It was not a sign, but it was, we were running. There was this thing that used to happen in the PCMC group, DKD. That I don't know if you know. In the PCMC group, there is every weekend or every other weekend they would run like a 10K.
Okay.
A lot of people together, and we were all running, and then there were some old uncle and auntie. They were walking, and they were kind of little bit, they were not. They were kind of a little shocked that why are so many people running, and they asked me, "Why are you running?" So he stopped me,
Yeah.
and then said, "Why are you running?" So, and I was like, "No, I mean I gotta run." So he said, "Are you running for world peace?" I said, "Yes, I'm running for world peace." So, that was a pretty interesting, and then I constantly get these things where I would say people find ways to stop me from running.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're old, or why are you still running? So they keep asking me. So sometimes they. So though I find that funny.
Funny, yeah. And
Yeah,
because
so-
you are proving them wrong every
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Marching
So-
forward.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think I find that funny. I mean, so that constantly happens even in the gym when I'm like lifting weights and then
Heavy weights, they get
some
worried.
people- yeah, some people are like, oh, you gotta be careful. This is so like the typical thing is this is not the age to do this, and I'm like, no, I got another many more years to do this.
Of course.
So I think those are I would say the most funny incidences. Yes.
Never let that go into your head.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. In
If-
fact, it's the other way around. It kind of encourages me much more.
Yeah. Right.
So in fact, I was thinking that it can actually. So I mean, I literally sometimes put in another 15 kgs for my
Weights.
chest press
Yeah.
or my lateral pull down. That okay, let me show them. So that's a little bit. I mean, it's so for me. It's so. I get so encouraged by that I said. So I mean, yeah. Sometimes it could be a little bit scary, but I think mostly it helps. I run faster or longer or
Yeah.
or more frequently to kind of show them that it can be done.
I can do that.
Yeah.
If you could go on a run with any historical figure,
Yeah.
some celebrity,
Yeah.
who would that be and
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I would rather, I get encouraged by, like the normal people who are running, around Pune or around India. lot more. I definitely am very, I would say, inspired by Milan Soman.
Right.
He's
Oh.
like,
Yeah, of
he's
course.
one of the, I would say, inspirational figures. He runs long distances, he bicycles,
Yes.
and his mother also runs, and
Yes.
then he runs barefoot many times.
Yes.
So those are all very inspiring stuff. So definitely would love to run with him. But I feel more about the general people that are running. So for example, people that are running from Pune on the streets, I would rather run with them because I feel like that's much more encouraging and inspiring for me. So for example, I go out sometimes with Yogesh, sometimes with Shubhajit. So I feel much more encouraged running. I mean, if I go to sometime I ran for the hill training at Durga Tekri, so would love to see other people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So there is, I would say, much more learning from them because I feel they are more like
Relatable.
Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
like me
Yeah.
rather than like somebody like Eliud Kipchoge or
True.
somebody else who like. Okay, I mean, I think there's like so different that.
So different.
So yeah, I would love to basically learn from people, and that happens when you find somebody who is somewhat like you,
True.
and you can learn a few things from them. So I like doing that.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Right. If you could run anywhere in the world, where would it
Yeah. I think, I mean, there are definitely, I would say, a lot of places, but I love to run in the US. I really would like to run more in Switzerland. I went to Switzerland
Wow.
and I ran there. I ran in like sub-zero in one of the places in the US. Forgot the name of the place, but it was all ice and snow. So I like to run in some peculiar places. So yeah, definitely more in the US, maybe in Switzerland, maybe basically inside deep forests
Right.
and inside beautiful places where with maybe a little bit of extreme temperatures and weather. But yeah, definitely those two places somewhere in the US and in I mean there's US has definitely many places that
Yeah, one of the favorite
I would love
destinations.
to
Wow.
do more there with enjoy the cleaner air and longer distances there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I went this time, I really saw a lot of people running easily at 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Because you can still run at that hour of the day.
Exactly.
They were taking maybe break from the work,
Yeah.
quick run, and then again continue
Exactly.
working.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I remember when I ran this Berkeley half marathon 2023 was in Berkeley, California,
Right.
and they had the start time at 7:30 a.m. I was like, "Are you sure?" So I'm used to
Yeah.
4:30 a.m. or
Right.
5:30
In
a.m.
India, they
here.
start very early.
So and 7:30 is kind of it's a little interesting because I would like I don't usually eat anything other than the dates and the
Right. You're not used to that.
a little bit of dry fruit. So 7:30 is a little bit late for just surviving on 2 dates. So but it was interesting, really. That's the other thing, definitely. Late starts and then mild temperatures,
Yeah.
pleasant temperatures, and then nice cool wind. And then there are many places even in India. I ran in Munnar, this short distance, and it was really cool and nice. I mean the elevation was pretty intense, so it was a little bit difficult. But then, just take your shoes and then find some
good place full of nature or
Exactly.
picturesque location.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
And less risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the run. Don't
Exactly.
worry much about pace or time or
Exactly.
distance.
Exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm done with most of my questions. Some
Yes.
parting questions from my side. If
Sure.
there is a race or any running experience that stands out
Yeah.
for you in your memory, some
Yeah.
memorable or challenging one, which one it would
Yeah.
be?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Satara was really good because I would say it's almost epic in the sense that any other run is like a normal, let's say, most runs in Pune would be Balewadi to the University Circle and back. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a 21K. So most of them will be around that. But Satara is so unique. It's so different. I mean, you see the so many different things. You see the Khas Plateau actually when you are towards the top, and it's such a elevated. There's so much elevation. So it's very unique, very different. And then you see so many different types of people, like and then everyone is out in the streets, so
Encouraging you.
encouraging.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely very unique, and I would say that definitely stands out as one great experience.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope you keep running, keep inspiring, and always smile. So that really
Thank
gives a
you.
lot of motivation to other
Thank
runners
you.
when they see you.
Yeah.
And I would be looking forward to your post about your full marathon
Sure.
whenever that
I would
happens. So all the
definitely
best
work
that
on
for
that.
you.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Anjali.
much.
Thank you so much.